Hello, good people of YouTube, lovely jubbly. Now, this is section 3, chapter 6, page 4, bacterial resistance, natural selection, and a divine intelligence. In previous pages, we talked about that you need that yin spark, that energy, to be able to do the yang. So, where does this spark come from? This spark is this universal and this divine intelligence has always been there since the beginning of the universe, 13.5 billion years ago, and probably before that, and after that it's going to be, so it's going to remain forever. So when I was studying medicine, then I went to do my PhD in cancer and red blood cells, and one of the ideas was that the bacteria, cancer is caused by the bacteria, and if we can kill the bacteria, we can kind of reduce a lot of cancer. And that was the same idea that the penicillin was based on, that if we develop this mold, which was discovered, this mold can kill all the bacteria and we can cure disease, which in the 1940s, that was brilliant. It helped a lot of people, a lot of things, great. It was fantastic. But gradually they realized that, hang on, this bacteria is developing, they're getting resistant to drugs. What happens? Then, as the electron microscope developed and they could look at it in much more detail, they realized that the bacteria who survive, because I put in that X, a lot of bacteria will die, and some of them will survive in that represented by little blue bugs. And then they pass that information to the next lot. And this is true in any system, in any biological system. For example, they found people in Africa, for example, that kids that they haven't got the access to the Western drugs, but they're surviving AIDS. Or they have found birds near the nuclear power stations that they survive the nuclear radiation and the water, which is, we would have killed everybody. But they naturally have developed this natural selection, this natural intelligence, and the body has developed. So this, what is called a natural selection or a natural shift, is because that divine intelligence gives them that ability to become resistant for the next generation. So that's how the bacteria grow and they survive antibiotics. And that's what the scientists were like, how the hell do they survive? And when they developed more of the electron microscope and they could look at it in more detail, they realized that the two bacteria get together and pass the genetic information to each other. So one bacteria which was resistant passed the information to the next one, which wasn't resistant. And now the second one is becoming resistant. So that's natural intelligence, natural inheritance. For the Western medicine or Western science, they need evidence, which they need machine to tell them what was happening. But remember that the machine also is made from plastic and metal. It's soulless. It has no energy. It has no soul, no spirit. We need both. The machine and the energy and the spirit. We need both. That's the Tao. We need both.